Hi everyone, we're going to get started in just a minute, but I've got one of my props today. I even blew it up myself. What could this be for? Got any ideas? I'm reaching down to my computer to see how things are going. And if anybody is watching, we can let me know that things are going. Oh, there we are. And we will turn this sound off on that one. Alrighty. Yep, I have a whole little bucket of balloons that I take to presentations when I'm teaching this technique. Also use it with kids. Hi, April. I'm not going to be announcing everybody that comes in once we get started, but it's great to see somebody here. I know Charlene will be here probably to help monitor the area. I'm actually on my lavalier mic and standing quite a distance, so I can't quite get to my phone easily. There, I'm closer. And I'm not using my computer today for this Facebook Live because when I practiced it earlier, for some reason it was real grainy, and it shouldn't be because I've got a good webcam. And it is at the top of the hour, and today I want to help you let it go when the negative energies start piling up. And first, maybe we should talk about where those negative energies come from. I know I generate some myself. When I'm frustrated, like we have been since May, when we had the power outage and the power surge and the little fire at the house on the electrical lines and the DSL line burned up and all of that. It's been a stressful summer for us, dealing with the insurance claim, getting the new appliances in because it burned everything up. So that was negative energy that our own stress, worry, actions, frustration were generating inside of us. I know it was happening with my husband. I know it was happening with me. I know that we were creating some frustrations for some of the appliance dealers we were dealing with, especially after the wrong stove was delivered and we had to return that. But negative energies also are in our natural world. Some of the negative energies are good, even though we call them bad energies. I call them negative energies because not all of them are bad. What kind of negative energies are good energies? Well, trees suck up the carbon dioxide that humans breathe out, for one thing, and return oxygen to us. And that little tip there is going to be important later on when I show you the actual technique. Another good negative energy is our body's responses to danger and letting us know, do we need to flee this situation? Do we need to be more aware? If you're a mom or a dad and you hear a baby crying, you want that alert. And for some people, that's a negative energy. They just don't like that noise. But if you're in charge of that baby, or if you're in a responsible position to help out, that negative energy is something that you want to respond to. So I want to point out that not all negative energy is bad. The negative energy that we're going to concentrate on releasing is the negative energy that's not serving our purposes in a positive way. We will be talking about a balloon. And the reason we're going to talk about the balloon is, have you ever taken a balloon, a blown up one, rubbed it on the carpet and stuck it to the wall to demonstrate static electricity? Most of us have done that, or we've seen it done. And I like to remind people that static electricity can be revved up, or you're increasing the amount. And we're going to do that as part of the technique in releasing our own negative energy. So now that we've talked about positive and negative energy, and we can go into more detail later about that, I've also got a handout you can have free if you'd like that will take you through each of the 10 steps that we're going to go through. And the other thing I want to mention before I go through and demo the technique for you, and I really hope you'll follow along because it's that quick and easy to do, is that it doesn't take a long time to do this. You can do it as long or as short an interval of time as needed. You can even do it entirely in your head while you're driving a car. So if you have a tendency to road rage, or somebody cuts in front of you and you can feel their negative energy and you're worried about accidents that could be caused or just bad driving weather, you're not going to close your eyes to do this technique. But you can do it in your mind. And you can do it in 5 minutes or less. You can do it in 30 seconds if that's all you have. Do as much as you can. The other important thing I would be negligent in not mentioning is this is not a technique that's once and done. You don't do it once and then it's gone forever, because we generate new negative energies that are not serving us, sometimes daily, definitely over time. And there are negative energies that are not serving us that are being generated by other people, other situations. The political climate, which you know I don't get into detail on Facebook, though I have my views. Disagreements with coworkers or family members. Things can happen in a moment that can really disrupt the peace and harmony that we want inside ourselves. So this is a way to increase the calm, and once the calm is inside you, you will think with more clarity and be able to act with intention rather than just react out of frustration. So what are we going to do? Well, I'm going to go through the 10 steps and describe those first, and then we can go through them together. And I really encourage wherever you are to either do them mentally or physically, because it works best if you actually physically use your hands and heart in this process. We're going to find a calm, peaceful place to go if you have one available. And if you don't worry about that. I often do this in the shower because I can imagine the negative energies just flushing off me and going right down the drain safely. I do it in the morning before I get out of bed, and I often do it at night before I go to sleep, just to ease things off. I'm not an easy sleeper, and this has helped immensely over time. We're going to do some deep breathing, just 3 to 6 breaths. And I encourage you to breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. I want you to be able to visualize plus and minus signs. Now, you could use another sign if you really want to. However, you don't want to have a negative sign that has a negative connotation. So even though you may want more money in your life, you don't want to use a dollar sign as a symbol. And that's because the opposite may be an empty checkbook, and we don't want that. So you want a neutral symbol, and my preference is for a plus and a minus sign. After we do that breathing, we are literally going to rev up our palms, just like rubbing a balloon on the carpet to increase the static electricity. And we are going to scan our bodies. We're going to do it ourselves. And we're going to start at the top, and we're going to go through the 7 major chakra areas, the meridian, if you're into Chinese acupuncture, things like that. Even if you're not into the spiritual world and the spiritual tools, these are our centers, and they're measured by a lot of medical devices and used for repairing a lot of the body's problems these days. Reiki people understand them as well. The TENS machines that you see advertised on TV now, those are all based on using the body's energy system. And that's what we're going to tap into. Then we're going to do another quick round of breathing. And finally, we're going to put down a nice white light of protection but you're going to remember that over time that protection wears off. It's not sealed to the bottom like a little cone over a clock or a knickknack, those little crystal bells that sit over to keep dust off of knickknacks. We aren't built like that. So I encourage you to do this again and again as needed. And if you're really feeling stressful, just make it a regular part of your day. All right, are you ready to do the technique with me? All right, number one, take a nice deep breath in through the nose and breathe out through the mouth. Now, as you're breathing in, I want you to visualize breathing in plus signs and breathing out negative signs. So what we're doing is we're bringing in good energy and flushing out the bad energy, the energy that's not serving us. We're trying to get that out of our body. So in through the nose, and it's so easy to visualize plus signs. And then we're letting loose the negatives. One more time. In through the nose and out through the mouth. All right. Why do we use the palms? The palms are one of the most energetic feeling areas of your body. I believe that's why we shake hands with people. It gives us an instant read of that other person's energy and whether there should be danger, whether we have instant connections. Anyway, they're right here. Let's use them. And you're going to rub them together, as I said, just like rubbing a balloon on the carpet, and you're going to increase that static electricity right in your own palms. Now, I am highly attuned to energy vibration. So when I do this, my palms get very hot and prickly. You may feel that too, and you may not feel any difference. It's okay. Just follow along with me. Rub, 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 rub. And then starting at the top of your head, about 2 or 3 inches, and you can do it side by side. You can do one on top of the other like this, and scan down your body. Your crown area, your third eye area. I've got an active third eye, so I always pick up stuff here. The throat area, I'm a communicator, so I can pick up a lot of energy here. And whenever you feel it getting heavy or tingly, or there's some difference in how your palms feel, I want you to stop and shake it out and think about shaking it out as safe energy for something else like a tree to pick up and use in a positive manner. If you don't feel any different, then just keep on going right down the body. Throat, heart, a lot of us, especially women, a lot of energy in our heart chakra area, down by our belly button, our solar plexus, right, and then our sacral, and then our root chakra. Then shake it out. And you should start feeling what I notice when I watch people do this, and you may have seen this with me. My shoulders came down. I carry a lot of my stress here. So when I'm stressed, my shoulders are way up like this. And as I release, it's a natural tendency to release that, and my shoulders come down. Let's do that one more time. Rub it up again, and another pass. Do another scan. Simple scan, right down. And then shake it right out. Like I said, I love doing this in the shower, and I just imagine all of that negative energy flushing right down the drain to enter into the sewer system where it's going to be cleansed and put back out into for good use. Do you feel the difference? I have had people, especially clients that I've worked with, who have been so stressed and tied up in knots, do this exercise and call me a day or two later crying, and I'm going, oh my God, what's happening? And they're going, I've never felt this peaceful and calm before. That technique is wonderful. And so they were happy tears, which made me feel good. That's great, Lisa. Yeah. For those of us who are communicators and those of us who hold back our voices, the throat area is a really good place to concentrate on, and it's great that you can feel it really blocked and that it's opening up for you. That's great. That's a place to particularly pay attention to in the future every day. I know in the morning when I wake up with a sore throat, that's a trigger. That's a sign for me that I'm pressing my luck on my chronic fatigue coming back. And I have to take measures right then and there to reverse that. So I feel that. Okay, I'm reading Charlene's thing. She feels the difference the second time the throat is cleared. So her shoulders have dropped. Isn't that great? I do recommend you doing this sitting or standing up, but you can do it sitting down. You can lead somebody. Kids love to do this exercise. When I was a substitute teacher in the public school system, and I had a rowdy bunch of kids, or we just wanted a break from the regular stuff that was left for me to do, which usually wasn't very interesting in this classroom, especially as a substitute teacher, we would do this exercise. The administration knew I did it. It was innocuous in terms of not treading on anybody's sensibilities, and the kids loved it. And it's something that a child can learn to do to help calm themselves down. All right, shall we do it one more time? We've got some time. Let's go through it one more time. Here's the technique. Find a calm, peaceful place if it's available, and if not, do it right where you are, either mentally or physically works best. You're going to breathe in several times through the nose, imagining plus signs, and you're going to breathe out negative signs. One more time. And breathe out. And what we're doing, and what this technique is different from many of the other ones I've seen, is I've seen other people do the breathing part of it and say, oh God, you're all good, you got it all out of you, but we haven't got it away from us. And I visualize Pigpen from the Peanuts cartoon. You know, the little guy who was always drawn with this cloud of dust all around him. Well, I kind of see that vision when I see people that are tied up in knots with frustration and negative energy. And we want to release that cloud of dust from them. So after we do that breathing, going to rev up our hands, get that static electricity. And if you're with someone else, you can kind of test your own sensitivity by putting your hands, one person put their hand on the bottom, one person put their hand on the top, and see how far away or how close you can get before you feel the other person's energy. All right, so rev it up and scan from the top to the bottom. If I have a bad backache, I may go around to my back, but our bodies and our sensitivities and our energy centers are circling around us, so it usually picks up from the back. I do this by my toe and my knees. If they're really achy, I mean, it's not going to hurt, and sometimes I can really feel that energy release where the tightness was. Back down. Great that some of you are trying it standing up, Lisa and Charlene. I think I missed a couple other messages there. Now, this time, when we breathe in the positive. Pay attention to any negatives that might be hanging out in the tips of your ears, the tips of your fingertips, the tips of your toes, and push that positive energy down to that, and then let it flush itself out. And if you need to do another scan, do that. And then remember, shake what you pick up on your palms, shake it away. You can imagine things attaching to your palms like iron shavings to a magnet, or the imagery I get, because I loved an Etch-a-Sketch when I was younger, was taking an Etch-a-Sketch and you've got the little pen and it's picking up the iron shavings, making pictures. I can easily see that on my hands when I'm doing the scan. All right, now that we're feeling better and our shoulders are down, I want you to imagine a beautiful white golden light coming down. And this is your protection. You know, have it go out 12, 18 inches from your body, and let that be a comfort to you. Charlene says, palms still tingly, so need more shaking. Absolutely. Sometimes washing your hands helps too. I think the tingly palms is a wonderful physical validation that you are intentionally moving your energy. Hi, Marie. Glad to have you here. So we're bringing down that white light of protection and remembering that it goes to the floor or the ground now, but it's not solid. It's not sealed. So as we go through our day, it's going to kind of evaporate, or we're going to push it out a little bit farther, which means, you know what happens when something that's this side gets pushed out, the bottom, you know, comes up, and we can let negative energies back into us. That's one of the things I love about this technique. It's simple. It's quick. You can do it anytime and anywhere. Lisa says, I think of Beam Me Up Scotty or on Star Trek for the white light of protection. Oh my God, that's a great visualization. Anybody else have something to share? My apologies if I'm looking around because I'm trying to read the notes and also remember to look right at my camera here. It's great to have people here. Marie, you came in on the tail end. We're demoing my simple, quick technique to release negative energies. It's a breathing technique you can do in 15 minutes or 5 minutes or less. And to recap one more time, find a peaceful, calm place if you have one available. And if you don't, you can do the technique anyway. If you're driving or in a meeting, can you imagine a hectic meeting at work or in a family argument, you know, kind of situation? You got people arguing over here and you're trying to bring clarity to the situation and yourself. So you're sitting here, but you don't want them seeing you do this. Just do it mentally. And we're going to breathe in positive signs through our nose, breathe out negative signs through our mouth several times. We're going to rev up the static electricity in our palms. We're going to scan the body, visualizing the negative energy attaching to our palms like iron shavings to a magnet. Down the seven chakra areas, the meridian, or any place else on the body. You're going to shake off the negative energy, and you're going to shake it off with the intention that it's going to be used for a positive good in another way. The universe is marvelous that way. We're going to breathe in more positive. And I didn't mention it, but when I finish the last round of breathing, before I bring down the cone of light, I like to breathe in positive signs and visualize breathing out positive signs. That way I'm infusing my body with positivity and infusing the area around me with positivity as well. Charlene says, I envisioned a wispy covering that went to the floor. That's great. It's wonderful when you can visualize and you can describe what you are visualizing in your own mind's eye. That's great. Lisa says, this is a great technique to use before going into a public place. I agree. It's also a great one to use when you come out of a public place. I did it like coming off the airplane, my trip down to Georgia, where Charlene was my roommate, you know, and I had to quite a wait before my connecting flight. You know, we're in a contained area in that airport, in that airplane, and you can't help but pick up other people's energy. I said I was going to talk a little bit more about where negative energies come from. And we already talked about internally how our thoughts, our words, our behaviors, our habits that aren't serving us, generate negative energies inside us. We talked about the fact that, in my mind anyway, not all negative energy is bad, energy, because carbon dioxide, some people would think is a bad, too much of that's going to, not good. It's not good for the environment. It's not good for a lot of things, but trees, plants take in that carbon dioxide and release oxygen that we have to breathe to maintain our lives, right? Externally, we have energy vampires, and we all know at least one. These are those people that are just naturally selfish or mean, vindictive, vengeful personalities. And some people seem to be that way their entire lives, and some people are that way only when they're facing their own stresses. Energy vampires can also be just angry people who are hurt or lonely personalities. So they're not necessarily flinging their negative energy at us on purpose, but we are sensitive beings, and many of us absorb more than our share. And this is a way to release that. There are energy drainers, the people that are all gimme, 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 and no give, give, give. And there's only so much of ourselves and our energies we can give. Yeah, Charlene, energy vampires, aka light suckers, absolutely. There are energy drainers that we choose to be around. Family, friends, loved ones who may have serious medical issues. And we want to be there to support them. And their bodies are releasing negative energy because of their physical condition. We are sensitive to their needs. We absorb that. And in order for us to continue to be the best we can be, we need to release that so we can continue supporting them. Then there are the unintended transmitters, ricocheted negative energies that we've sent out. Had a bad thought about somebody, said something you didn't wish you hadn't said, and it comes right back and zing you in the head or the heart. Had that happen a few times. We talked about that, the transient ones. Homeless people who aren't trying to better their lives. They're whatever their condition. And this is not a judgment. This is just that they have a certain amount of negative energy that can negatively affect us. And then there are vagrant energies. And I truly believe this. Some people are going to think I'm wacky, but that's okay because I know my quirkiness and I own it. Spirits and ghosts, they can leave some weird stuff behind. Decay and destruction. We've just gone through some really wacky weather. And it seems to be ongoing around the globe these days. And I think sometimes it's because we get the news moment by moment, where in the past we didn't. But the hurricane, the devastation, the tsunamis, the earthquakes, they all leave behind a certain amount of decay and destruction, hostilities, war. All of those things send off their own negative energies that we can absorb either consciously and unconsciously. And then the final one I want to mention is our own clutter, confusion, overwhelm, and frustration. Clutter can be a negative energy inside us if we don't release what's in our minds. That's why I love my doing a brain dump and discovery exercise. But if there's too much clutter around me, that's going to affect my energy as well, and I need to release that. And then I have the clarity to go do something about it. All right, that's my tips for today on this Wednesday. And I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope you all felt relief. I hope you all continue to do this technique. And for me, it's a type of meditation, but some people don't like that word. I will, when we're done here, I'll post a link under the Facebook Live replay with a way you can get the printout that includes a summary of how negative energies are created and also the 10-step process to release it. Thank you so much. This has been great. And if you need to show somebody that, yes, they do have electricity within them, grab yourself a balloon. Bye.